Hello, wonderful people of YouTube. Today is a very fateful day, an eventful day, because we are going to build our national capital for the glorious nation of Lincoln Land. Yes, it's going to go right here. As you notice, scrolling around the map, we only have 3 large tiles. First one we built on was Epic Cove down here. Second one we built on was the city of Trinity. And the third one is right here. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our capital. Now, before we jump right in, let's just take a look at the neighbors, starting from the upper left and going down. We have the city of Latteville, not a terribly populous city, sitting up here with industry on the side, feeder for Trinity. Now, these two cities are the two that border both Trinity and our new capital. Scalar. Pretty small city, not too much going on there, a little suburb of Trinity, you could say. It's got some nice mountains that are going to continue into there. Then we have the city of Lysopolis, named after the wonderful cleaning solution of Lysol. This city is of course unfinished, but that doesn't matter. Then we have the city of Scudville, which was built purposely to be an industrial feeder city to our capital. See how that works? We have the small village of Friskytopia. Nothing really much going on there. It's just like a small farming village with a little village attached. Over here in this corner we have Bardolino, the city I've most recently featured in episodes. Bardolino's pretty rad, and I don't doubt there's going to be a lot of commuters crossing between the two. Over here is the city of Romanga, which is partially a beach resort, but it's mostly a big, gritty, industrial, residential town. And it's kind of, kind of alright. And over here we have nothing. Nothing. So that is the neighborhood for which we are moving into. So basically, this city will actually have 3 rivers in it. We have this river that comes up here. We have this river, which is going to be the main river in our city. And then we have this river, which will duck out this corner. In terms of hills, we have this, which is going to have to continue through here in some way or another, but that's really it. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. We are going to build this city. And what are we going to call it? Well, I have already thought of a name for it. What is it? Well, if you look in the comments, in the title, you already know. But let's just pretend for a minute that you don't know. And that is what we are doing. Alright. Yes, it's a little bit intimidating to look at all this stuff and say, oh, this all has to line up and look good. But mountain range. Let that sort itself out a little bit. And we're just going to let this spread itself out into some low hills over here. A little bit of a rolling terrain, you could say. Alright, and let's just click here. I don't want the city to be completely flat. I just want it to be mostly flat. We'll give our mountains... Whoa! Hello. I thought I was putting trees for a second, but no. Yeah, we'll give it some trees. I don't know. We're not going to really be worrying too much about this. Alright. This river does not need to be too wide. It gets a little wide over there, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's not really a big deal. That river is going to come in through here and cut a nice little swath of through our territory. would be curvaceous and primal. Okay, and here we go. Let's have it go down a little bit and then back around, and yeah, it's all linked up. Look at that wonderful riverbank. Just because we can. Let's put trees on either side of the river. Is it either or either? You know, that's a good question. I really don't know. But it would be nice to have some form of Riverside Park along here. It'd be kind of rad. Alright, now let's start on the other small river here. This one will make not as curvaceous. In fact, we are going to use the shallow canyon tool. Might take a little longer, but it's alright. And the advantage of this is, actually we're going to start from here because this is up. You know, this is upstream. I'm going to go from upstream to down. This really makes the land go funky. That's kind of silly. Oh man. Come on. You know what? Screw the shallow canyon. We'll just have it be a little silly over there. It's no big thing. Maybe I ought to refix the edges, which means I'm going to, of course, have to do this again. It sucks, but what can you do? Alright, yeah. Fix that. Nothing too glamorous. It gets wider, it gets narrower, but it's all good. And now for our final river. This one I'm prepared to allow it to be just a little bit bigger, although it's still not as large as the main river in Trinity. That would be a little bit too big, but larger than the other two that are in our city right now. Or a future city site, I should say. It's not a city per se. Let's lower the terrain. At points where it's too narrow, let's push it out a little bit. Have a nice, decently wide river. Let it go its way up. Nice. Alright, we are going to continue the formation of this river as it travels near the foothills here. Foothills of this big mountain. And now it's going to take a most improbable course through this mountainous area. Now you might think this is unrealistic, but let me tell you, there's some rivers in Pennsylvania that go pretty contrary to what you think they would do. Although that is because actually the rivers are older than the mountain ranges, if you can believe that. It's pretty crazy. So as the mountains continued to rise, they just ate through them. So here is our capital region so far. Put down more trees. Yes, we are going to have to work with a land that is much divided. This occurs to me that the tree placing sound has not changed, at least not significantly, since the days of SimCity 2000, which were days of yore. Oh man, look at all of that. Oh man, I want this area to be a future park, and I will denote it as such by putting a bunch of trees on it. But here is our wonderful little region that will be our city. Now you might be wondering, what are we going to call this city? Well, guess what? We are going to call this the glorious city of Tom Hanks. Oh yes, Tom Hanks is an awesome actor, being in such movies as Forrest Gump, Castaway, Big, and Splash, just to name a couple. There's a lot more. And he will carry the name of our great capital. It will make sure all the politicians work and live in his example, and if that is so, the city will be prosperous. And as far as the mayor's name, to give a personal stamp on this, I am going to, for the first time, legitimately use my own name. Yeah. And here we go. Alright. Yeah, tourist trap. It's for time-traveling tourists who want to see the capital before it's built. Hey, do you want to see the pristine land that the capital was built on? Well, now's your chance. Come to the time-traveling tourist depot of greatness and wonder and jelly beans and barnacles and Mike from that show. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, here we are. Here is our city, and we are going to get started. Now, you might be wondering, how are we going to build? Are we going to make a master plan city? Are we going to build organic? The answer is actually a combination of both. We are going to build organic at first until we reach a certain population, and only then will we say it's time to plan our capital. The idea is, this region has been a sort of a rural region with small towns until they decided to put the national capital here. Then it developed into a national metropolis. So that's our plan. How are we losing money already? Oh, our roads that are peeking out. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is our strategy. And I've kind of learned a few tips to make, organic building not, retarded. And we're going to try implementing some of those so that the transition into master plan city will not be difficult. First, what we're going to do is say there were roadways here. And these roadways are old Indian trails that used to go through these lands in the days of yore. Oh man, those days of yore, they were sure grand, weren't they? And we will build our first bridges, not that one. We'll go with that. There's nothing over there yet. We're going to put a road straight through here. We're going to diagonal it up all the way through here. That's going to be fun to build around later. We're going to connect it up to there. Oh look, I almost did naturally. Anything that's an avenue or expressway we're not going to connect until later. I do decree. Now keep in mind, all these avenues that we have built will become functional at some point. Oh, that's a railroad track. Alright, we're going to connect you up just as a road for now. And we're just going to work with what we have. And you can come up to here. And we're going to try for a uniform pattern for our early bridges. Oh man. Let's see, what if we do that? There we go. A early transportation system for our beautiful town. I like it, don't you? You are required to say yes. By law. Okay, yeah, there's no free will in our country. You must do what your emperor demands. Okay, here we go. Shweebity-bidee. But we're gonna partially build these roads to match with the land, and these are just, like I said, old Indian roads. But the Indians are no longer here because they've been forced off by the white bastard. Yep, that's right. The white man has kicked the Indians off their land and is now controlling their roads. It's quite sad. But such is the course of history, filled with much sadness and despair. Do we have to be that way? Will we ever change? That, ladies and gentlemen, is unknown. We do not know our destiny or our fate, but we must build toward an ever-growing tomorrow. For it is only through that we truly know who we are. And there's my motivational speech. And there's my system of derpy little roads. And now what we are going to say... I'm going to pause this actually. Now what we're going to say is that in these early days, they have decreed that this land shall be divided for the purposes of farming. So, in contrast to Trinity, when we sort of just kind of went willy-nilly with all our farm plots, we are going to be systematic about this. All the farm plots are going to be, we're going to say, give me a number, folks. How about blabbity-blabbity-blue? About 18 blocks by 18 blocks. Why not? I can't think of any reason not to. Except the ones on the side, they're going to be half size. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, maybe I should zoom out for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And if I mess up somewhere, it's not the end of the world, honestly. You know, we'll say we'll chalk it up to cartographical error. Yeah. But nobody wants to see me go around and do all that all day, so what I'm going to do is just pause this and come back when it's done. Yay! Alright, after a long and grueling process, we have placed markers along two edges of the map. In some cases where the marker couldn't be on the edge, I put it out a little bit, but the principle stands. Now, this one down here, what are we going to do when a marker is close to a road that already exists? Are we going to create a parallel street and just derp it up like that? And the answer is, of course not. That would be silly. We are just going to round to the nearest street. So, like I said, it goes all the way up here, all the way across here. And now we round. We're going to round this up to there. And let's take a look here. What we are going to do now is divide our farm plots for the new settlers who are going to be reaching these lands. And in some areas we will have larger than normal plots for sure. And just to make sure that we can zone a zone in the slot, actually no. So we are going for zones like, for areas like this that are too big, we are just going to divide them into quadrants. And that should be our, that should be all right for agriculture. Yes, not all fields are created equal. Some farmers are just going to have a lot better of a start than others. But we are going to make everything good for these guys. Whee! Alright. I wonder if we can simply zone in half. And the halves will be fine, yep. Yeah, this might take a while, but it's fun. And you all enjoy things that are fun, right? I would think that you are fun-loving individuals. So you can stick around and watch me zone these delicious farm plots. Yeah. Now, I don't know for sure whether the concept of this city is going to work out or not. I mean, the general idea of the city is to at least attempt to suppress Trinity in a level of awesome. Now, whether that's possible or not, we'll just have to see. I mean, we're certainly going to try. But like I said, no guarantees for our capital. I mean, keep in mind, most of this industrial zone, or, well, I guess it's technically industrial, but this farm zone, most of it will not remain farm zone forever. Forever! Yeah, shut up, Pinkie Pie. It's not your turn. Okay, but there we go. Already derping it up a little bit, apparently, but that's okay. Certain areas I want to save for town centers. For example, this area. We'll resume our regular thing over here. But yeah, areas that are too mountainous, like beyond here, that's going to remain a single plot. Like that. And yes, someday we will connect this up, but not now. And this is going to be left aside for a town center. Alright, let's continue southward with a street that comes out to here. And you can't see it, but a street that comes out to here. Well, I mean, when you can't see it, you can't see where it begins. Alright, well, let's build the city's first traffic light, or one of them, in this area. I could totally build a street bridge if I want. But I'm gonna say no for now. Well, I'll build it, but I'll immediately demolish it. Because I don't want all these low street bridges clogging the cities. I want them to be funneled onto the roads, you know. Oh, there's a gap right there. Hopefully there's not too many gaps like that, because that's ugly. Maybe we will connect some of these streets up as road bridges later on, but for now, that's all we need. Basically, any money spent during the course of this is merely the you could say the surveying cost of for the land, you know? Because, you know, the surveyors, they need their salaries. They need their little surveying instruments, you know? There's a lot more that goes into surveying than just coming up and walking around and being like, "Derp, derp, this should go there. Aren't I clever?" No, there's more to it than that. Okay, build you. I'm just sort of doing that to get my bearings here. Alright. Whee! Don't you love our beautiful farm roads? I think they are quite the thing. Oh. You know, I'm not sure if I'm going to put this all on camera because, well, you can see how tedious it is. I just wanted to give you an idea of it. I'll finish the rest of it off camera, and I'll come back to you in a bit.